Well, an unfortunate end to what otherwise was a really great night of fights. I'm going to go through every single one of them, talk about what I got wrong, what I got right. Came out with more money than what I had going in. So I guess a win's a win. Kicking off the card, we had Alexander Costa and Cody Durden. Alexander Costa, I picked him to win via round 2 KO. He ends up getting it done by round 2 submission. Both of the bets cash at Costa money line and fight not to go the distance. Was pretty confident in this one. Costa ends up getting it done. My takeaways from this fight, Costa's a bit of a prospect at 125. He could look to fight inside the rankings next. And as for Cody Durden, he's now 2-7 in his last 9. Just a really bad look. I'm not sure what value he's providing on the UFC roster at this point. Probably going to get cut either here coming up in a couple weeks or by the end of the year. It was a great way to kick off the card. Alessandro Costa was kind of easing his way into it. He was getting out-volumed by Cody Durden there in the beginning. Finds a takedown, locks in the submission in the second round. I was never really worried, though, about Costa. He was looking more dangerous constantly throughout the fight. Great performance from him. Gets a finish. Looking to fight up, like I said, maybe next time in the rankings, but great way to kick off the card regardless. Moving into the next fight, Ryan Gondar and Zachary Reese. I picked Gondar to get it done by round 1 KO. That's exactly what he does. Double green, I think for the first time in a while, actually. Get this one exactly right. Takeaways from this, the Joe Rogan curse. I mean, that was one of the most unfortunate commentating moments I think I've ever heard. How does that even happen? Joe Rogan says, I'm telling you, Zachary Reese looks really good. And then as soon as he lets that out of his mouth, Zachary Reese is then unconscious on the canvas. Ryan Gondar steps in, blitzes in, is able to find, I think, a left hook, drops him. He's looking like a problem at 185. I mean, obviously he hasn't showed levels to his game quite yet, but the power that he possesses is just crazy. And Zachary Reese isn't bad. Like, I think he could actually be a decent guy if he just had a shred of defense. Like, if he was just sound and could move a little bit better. Really rough from Zachary Reese, but Ryan Gondar gets it done in round 1, and it's another, back-to-back finishes. The card's moving. It's going great. 2 fights in a row. Then we move into Farid Basharat and John Garza. I picked Farid Basharat to get it done via decision. That's exactly what he does. We stayed relatively hot here in the beginning. I was a little bit worried about a Garza KO here. Doesn't end up happening. My takeaways from this fight, Basharat won the fight, but we still don't care about him. I don't know if there's any closeted Basharat fans out there that are actually super excited for what's going on. But for me, I'm actually more excited to see John Garza fight again. This dude was stuffing takedowns, getting underhooks, sprawling. Like, he looked great. The only thing is he just was overloading a bit too much on his shots, was getting a bit overzealous. I understand it's his debut fight. He looked great, though. I mean, I think he was supposed to fight on the Contender Series. Ends up debuting right now. He's definitely deserving of a UFC contract for sure. I would like to see him fight actually a decent guy at bantamweight, because the striking that he has and the power that he clearly has is pretty special. That moment where he got caught with a nasty spinning, he ate nasty shots as well throughout this entire fight. I think Farid Basharat's a bit pillow-fisted. But either way, John Garza ate a nasty spinning elbow straight to the face, punches himself in the face a couple times, and then keeps pressuring forward. That got me fired up. So Basharat wins the fight. Now he's up for a renewal on his UFC contract. I doubt the UFC is going to not renew his contract. I mean, he's undefeated. He's a ranked guy. It's just, that's got to be rough. That's a rough situation to be in, because it's not like you can expect him to continue to win or become a contender. At the best, he's just going to be like a low-end kind of gatekeeper for the top 15 in bantamweight, I guess. But for John Garza, good stuff. I'm really excited to see what he does next. The next fight on the card, we had Damian Pinas and Cesar Almeida. I picked Pinas to get this one done via round 1 KO, and that's exactly what he does. That's 3 out of 4 that we started perfect predictions. Pinas round 1 KO at plus 280 cashes. I put that down. That was a nice cash out for me. And Pinas money line at minus 240 as well. My takeaways from this fight, his power is legit, and he deserves a step up. Yes, he was looking like he was getting a bit outclassed there by the speed of Cesar Almeida. But as I said in the breakdown, it only takes one, and I think Pinas will find that one. Cesar Almeida, I said in the breakdown also, really struggles against the straight jabs, and that's exactly what Pinas hit him with. And he put him out bad. I mean, that was seriously, if we're talking about just pure, like aesthetically pleasing KOs, I think this is probably the best one on the entire card. Freaky stuff from Damian Pinas. Great win for him. He's going to fight up Cesar Almeida. What's next for him? I really don't care. It was a great way to keep the card moving. Moves into the next fight. Tracy Cortez and Wang Kong. I picked Tracy Cortez to win via decision. Wang Kong ends up getting it done via decision. The fight goes the distance, and that is about the only thing that I got right about this fight. The takeaways, I'm going to keep it a buck. Tracy got her ass whooped, and I've never been more sad. I may have to rename my smoker now, because that is, I mean, we can't be going out there looking like that, Tracy. I don't. Oh, that was rough. Wang Kong, though, is actually a serious contender in the division. Regardless of like any jokes, Wang Kong is actually nasty. The length and size that she has, the grappling defense that she showed, I guess, was great. I didn't really understand the overall game plan going in for Tracy Cortez. You're a grappler. I would try and implement that a little bit quicker. She just couldn't close the distance. Wang Kong was firing jabs, nasty kicks. Tracy was beat up. Her front legs, by the end of the fight, I'm surprised she didn't get leg kick KO'd. Wang Kong got a point taken and still unanimously won this fight. Tracy Cortez is going to have to fight down again, but this is a great win for Wang Kong. Tracy Cortez has only lost to fairly elite competition. And for Wang Kong, like, we're looking at like maybe one more fight, and then she's inserted herself in a title picture. She looks great. This fight bummed me out, but it was still a pretty good fight. The next fight on the card, Luke Riley and Kai Kamaka. I picked Luke Riley to get this one done via round 2 KO. It gets it done in round 1. Luke Riley moneyline cashes, and a Luke Riley KO at plus 230 also cashes. My takeaways from this fight, not a bad stoppage at all. I thought Kai Kamaka was clearly done. He was up against the cage, not defending himself at all. Luke Riley was pouring it on him. Let's see like a Luke Riley and Dan Ige next. I feel like that would actually be a pretty fun fight. Luke Riley deserves a step up for sure. I'm not sure if Dan Ige is still technically ranked because of the meta rankings. But either way, competition-wise, it makes sense. You know, Dan Ige has been a ranked guy for sure. So Luke Riley and him, I feel like, is a pretty good fight because Luke Riley is on his way up. He's still, he's undefeated. This is a really big prospect, and especially his ties with Paddy Pimblett. Like, the UFC actually has a pretty good storyline and overall, image with this guy. Kai Kamaka, it sucks, but I don't think he's bad either. It's just he's kind of like featherweight Farid Basharat in a way. Like, slick, will land some good stuff, but just not overall super entertaining because of the lack of finishing ability, I guess you could say. But regardless, great win for Luke Riley. Lights it up. Gets the oh Patty the Baddie chant going on after he wins. It was good stuff. I was glad he got it done. Cashed out him by KO as well. So good stuff from Luke Riley. The next fight on the card, Cody Garbrandt and Adrian Yanez. I can't believe I almost picked Cody Garbrandt to win this fight. I think I picked him, and then I went back and I was like, what are we doing? We cannot be doing this. Adrian Yanez gets it done via round 1 KO. None of the bets that I said to maybe place hit at all. That's on me. I'll be honest. That's on me. Should have known Adrian Yanez would probably not go the distance in the way that both of these guys fight. My takeaways from this fight, should have left him in the octagon, Cody. I saw you take him off. Go ahead and leave him in there. There was no reason to not. Cody Garbrandt, there's nothing left to give the game, my friend. You're getting a little bit older. You've already been champ. Like, you can just kind of hang your hat on that and be good. It was a fun one championship fight that you won. Your one fight prime was fantastic. We will remember you for that, but we don't need to see anymore. We just don't. Good win for Yanez. Just not overly excited about what's next for him. He fought a decent fight for sure, but Cody Garbrandt came out and actually looked a lot, I don't want to say better than I thought he would, because he still got knocked out pretty fast. Just came out in a much different style than I thought he would. Cody Garbrandt's been pretty overly hesitant lately, not wanting to throw a whole lot. He stepped right into the fire. The second the fight started, Adrian Yanez just landed the more damaging of blows. Some of these shots that Garbrandt landed, though, in Yanez, I thought were lethal shots. Just weren't. Adrian Yanez gets it done. And we keep moving throughout the card. Gable Steveson and Elijah Ellison. Gable Steveson via round 1 TKO was the pick. Gable Steveson round 1 TKO was the outcome. Not going to gloat on this one. Everybody knows everybody kind of knew what was going to happen. The fight to end in round 1, minus 360. Gable Steveson in round 1 also was another bet that I wanted to place, or that I did place. Don't know why I didn't put it in here. That was also around minus 360, I think. Like I said, I'm not going to gloat about this. Everybody knew this was going to happen. My takeaways from this fight, he's here and he looks good. Gable Steveson did look a lot better than I thought. Now, he was getting takedown stuffed by some rando. That wasn't a great look. But the overall striking that we saw on display was actually solid stuff. He was throwing a lot of really good front kicks. Need to see Gable Steveson against a ranked heavyweight next, though. If you really want to build some hype, give him one of the blobs throughout the division. Whoever it is, Shamil, we know for a fact there are some ranked heavyweights that are not very good. Give them to Gable Steveson. Really start to build his name, and we could see Gable potentially fighting for a title within the next year and a half. By the end of 2027? That's not a crazy thing to say. The UFC would love for Gable to be champion. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of let him speed run. So good stuff from him. Give him a ranked opponent next. Elijah Ellison showed good heart. Good stuff from him. Made it an entertaining fight and was not a complete demolition. Gable Steveson gets it done. Good stuff from him. The next fight on the card, the last prelim, Robert Whittaker and Nikita Krylov. I picked Nikita Krylov to get it done via decision. Robert Whittaker, Bobby Tough Knuckles, gets it done via round 3 KO, breaks the jaw of Nikita Krylov. A Whittaker KO cashes at plus 225. My takeaways from the fight, Bobby gets a good win. I'm just not sure if the move to light heavyweight is going to work out long term. This is low-key a Nikita Krylov disaster class as well. You get your jaw broken by Robert Whittaker. Did not use his length advantage, his height advantage at all. He did look bigger than him. Robert Whittaker was a bit pudgy too going into it. And I don't care what anyone says. I think he did look tired, mid-round 2 as well. Whittaker gets a good win. I'm not sure how far this run is going to go within light heavyweight, but for now, I think we can enjoy it. And Nikita Krylov, you can't keep losing like this. I mean, the chin, I did say he's very chinny, and historically he has had a pretty bad chin. He literally got his jaw broken and didn't go down. So I guess that's something to hang your hat on, I guess. But for him, a really disappointing performance. Let's see Robert Whittaker against another ranked light heavyweight. Don't do Paulo Costa. That wouldn't make sense. But I don't know, maybe an Alonzo Menefiel. That wouldn't make sense either. I don't know. Whittaker's actually kind of tough to matchmake at light heavyweight, but regardless, he'll get another step up. I think his next loss will probably be his last. This is probably his last push for whatever he's trying to go for. But like I said, for now, let's enjoy it. A good win from Robert Whittaker at light heavyweight. That'll take us into the main card. King Green and Terrence McKinney kick off the main card in a really fun way. I picked Terrence McKinney to win via round 1 TKO. He ends up losing via round 1 TKO. The only bet that cashes here is the fight to end in round 1, and that almost didn't happen. Kind of get bailed out here. King Green finishes it in literally the last singular second of the first round. Takeaways from this one: what the fuck even happened? Was Terrence McKinney not completely dominating that fight for the entire first round? It was the last 8 seconds he was losing. King Green lands a singular body shot after scrambling back up to his feet. Terrence McKinney, I felt like he should have just kept laying on the ground and pound and could have probably finished this one. Can't believe he didn't find the submission on the back of King Green either. Had so many chances in this one. Just a kind of a really weird way to go out for Terrence McKinney, but King Green lands 6 seconds worth of shots that were going fully, undefended, and he ends up getting it done and literally as the buzzer is going off. King Green, welcome to the rankings. Probably going to be 15 now, 14 maybe. And I love the call out from Dan Hooker. That seems like a really fun fight in the lightweight division. Dan Hooker can get back on track with a win. King Green can continue to climb with a win there. So do that on I don't know if that's really fight night main event worthy, but that's a pretty easy fight to make on like the bottom of a main card of a numbered event for sure, or like the co-main event of a fight night for sure. And for Terrence McKinney, we still love you. You know, you went out there, did your thing, fell on your sword like you always do. Don't cut Terry. I mean, he's not going to get cut. That's for sure. No matter what fight he is in, it is always going to be fun. But the thing with him is, like I said in the breakdown, he just can't really gain momentum because fights like these happen way too often where he can clearly win, can clearly make a statement with a win, climb up the rankings potentially, and he just can't. He gets finished in round one, but a really fun fight regardless. A great way to kick off the main card. Takes us into the next fight of Brandon Royval and Lone Kavanaugh. Fight of the night, actually. I picked Kavanaugh to win this one. I picked him to win via decision. He ends up losing via round 3 submission. I was super confident in Kavanaugh here. He does not get it done. Royval over on strikes hits, though, as I figured it probably would, especially with how deep this fight went. Royval was landing at really high clips. Takeaways from this one. Lone Kavanaugh's fight IQ just looked abysmal. I don't understand the trying to, pull, jump guillotine. Puts himself in terrible positions on bottom, I think twice throughout the fight. And then the last time in the third round just kind of did it for him. He could not get back up to his feet. Brandon Royval implemented grappling in a way that I did not think he could do, but he did. And Lonnie Kavanaugh looked pretty lost. Royval's such a dog. He just continues to prove time and time again why he is such an elite flyweight. And this fight is a great example of why. I still think Lonnie Kavanaugh is really, really good. And he's obviously still getting better. He's a younger fighter. But Brandon Royval is just a dude. I'm not sure what's going to make sense for him. He's kind of too many losses removed from like title contention. But he serves as such a great litmus test of like top 5 guys. I'm not sure what's going to be next for him. I saw somebody matchmaking with Horiguchi. I don't necessarily hate that. That could be a fun fight for sure. But for Lonnie Kavanaugh, that's a really bad loss. That was one that I really thought he could get done. It was a big miss on my part. Even breakdown-wise, wasn't really that great. I thought Kavanaugh would low-key do him like Joshua Van did, and instead, Brandon Royval gets a great win. We move on to the next fight on the card. The feature fight, Corey Sandhagen and Mario Bautista. Won't spend too much time here. I picked Bautista to win via decision. He wins via decision. Bautista money line at plus 115. I was super confident in this. This is a really good win for me. The fight to go over 2.5 rounds as well at minus 270 hits. My takeaways from this one. This is a Bautista masterclass. I don't know, I don't want to spend too much time because I'm not going to give really good analysis on it. I just kind of felt the Bautista masterclass coming. It was just, it was speaking to me. It made sense. I've never been overly fond of Corey Sandhagen. Mario Bautista's looked great recently. There was obviously things he could have done better, but he arguably won every single round of that fight. Is Corey's leg okay, though? I mean, it looked like he seriously either pulled something, ruptured a tendon like meniscus. I don't know. Something looked very wrong at the end of round 1 when Bautista had him in that threatening exchange in the grappling. He recovered well. By the end of the fight, it looked fine, but there was definitely a scare for sure in the beginning. But for Mario Bautista, this enters him in like championship contention areas now. I mean, he's 9 or 10-3 now in the UFC or overall. Since his loss to Corey Sandhagen, he's done really nothing but win. This dude's done a phenomenal job. He's a great fighter. And seriously, champion, like him fighting for a title is not out of the question completely. Great stuff from him. The next fight on the card, the co-main event. Paddy Pimblett and Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm going to gloat a little bit on this one. This one I will take in. I picked Paddy to win via round 2 sub. He gets it done in round 1. Paddy Pimblett moneyline cashes at plus 120. I loved Paddy Pimblett sub. I think I even threw the bet down in some fashion with that in there. Don't know why I didn't put that in there. That's on me. But my takeaways from this fight, pretty much exactly what I thought was going to happen. Just happened a lot sooner. I said Benoit Saint-Denis is really reckless, shoots in like a wrestler, leaves his neck out there. Paddy's jiu-jitsu is really fucking good. Like really good. I don't know why he's the underdog. Immediately, Paddy jumps on the guillotine. I know it wasn't a guillotine. He changed it to a Darce and then sinks in the Darce, puts Benoit to sleep. I think Mark Goddard grabbed his arm, picked it up, drops. It was awesome. It was just awesome. We need this Paddy Ilya fight like air. It makes too much sense. They're both in such great, respective spots in their career. I wouldn't mind if you want to like run back Ilya Justin, maybe see if Ilya wins, and then if he does, you can run Paddy and Ilya. But then that kind of leaves the rest of the division in limbo, especially with guys like Charles and Arman, things like that. For BSD, he has no composure at all. I don't understand how this happens. Like time and time again, he puts himself in great positions like this and then just completely loses all composure, shoots in on a guy with great BJJ, leaves his neck completely exposed. And that's what happens when you do things like that. You get finished. Did it against Dustin Poirier, does it against Paddy Pimblett again. He's a fun fighter for sure. He's a very skilled fighter. This is a great win for Paddy. I can't underestimate that enough. This is a great win for Paddy Pimblett. It's just, for BSD, I'm not sure how this continues to happen over and over again. Really, really loses composure. Paddy gets a great win. The walkout was super fun. The fight ends so fast. It was like, what was that? This is a great moment. Unfortunately, this ended up being like the best moment of the entire card because of what followed, which was Conor McGregor and Max Holloway. You guys. Look, we had like a smaller TV with the Argentina game on, like right below. Not that anyone was like super paying attention to it, but we had it on. The foggy dew starts. They bring in the fog machines. Conor's walking out. Argentina scores the goal. The vibes have never been higher. It's a wonderful time. Everything is going so great. Did I know Conor was going to lose? Yes. Did that matter? No. Did I fully in the moment believe? We were all the way back. Conor was winning via round 1 KO. Did I believe that? Yes. Despite picking Holloway via round 4 TKO, Conor McGregor loses via breaking his leg immediately. We were all on cloud 9. Like I said, the vibes have never been higher. For all of 4 seconds, Conor McGregor comes out with a jump knee or a jumping high kick and tears his ACL virtually immediately. My takeaways from this one. Conor may genuinely have to fight Jake Paul next. And I mean this with full sincerity. I don't know what to do after this. Like for Conor, even from like a promotional standpoint in the UFC, this has got to be the biggest disappointment to ever happen in the entire history of the promotion. You kill all excitement of like even a rematch at this point because there's nothing to rely on. Like he may genuinely, if he ever comes back, which I truly think it's like 80-20, he doesn't come back. He's going to have to be like the co-main event. I know Max has been saying he wants to run it back and he wants to wait it out. There's a chance Conor didn't tear his ACL and it was just a meniscus injury. I don't think that's the truth, but that's what the streets are saying. It's just, this really killed a lot. This really killed a lot of energy, hype, every bit of momentum that the UFC had going for it just kind of died with Conor's ACL. I don't think he was hurt before the fight or at any point before the bell sounded. I do not think he was hurt at all. There's like the clips of him going to the hospital or to the clinic or something before a fight. Like, I think it was him. I think he was getting hot cupping done. I don't think anybody said that either. So let me put this out there. I'm almost positive that clip of him going to the doctor is him going and getting hot cup therapy, because that was something we literally saw the cupping marks on his body throughout, the days leading up to the fight. I don't think he wasn't limping. Like, there was nothing wrong. That weird clip of him taking off a shoe, like, I feel like we're trying to do way too much and speculate. I think he clearly just tried to, and if he was hurt, who the hell's starting a fight like that knowing they have a bad right knee? who is jumping with all their force, putting every last ounce of power on their right foot if they know that they're hurt. That makes no sense to me. Just a really, really, really poor way to ruin an entire night that was so, so good. And instead of talking about the countless finishes, instead of talking about Paddy Pimblett, instead of talking about what should have been a great scrap in Conor and Max, it's all just kind of like people are chuckling at the UFC. It's like people feel duped in a way. It's just really, really tough. Max sounds like he's going to wait it out for another rematch, but I doubt the UFC is even going to let that happen. For Conor, yeah, I'm kind of making a joke about the Jake Paul thing, but it's like you either go fight him in boxing or you do like we genuinely have to roll out Michael Chandler at 170. I don't know. I don't know. It's like you can't do a fight night with him. He's way too big of a name for a fight night, obviously. Unless they do one in Ireland, but they'd still have to build a whole regular card around it. He cannot headline another pay-per-view or numbered event. He just can't. If he comes back in a year and a half that it's going to take for him to recover from this is a terrible, terrible, terrible spot for the UFC to be in. Terrible spot for Conor McGregor to be in. I hope he gets right. I hope he comes back. I hope we actually see Conor fight for more than 1 second in the octagon. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but again, just a really unfortunate way to end the night. Obviously, everyone was super upset about it. Smoked so much meat just to see this happen. Me and my friends were immediately in shambles. It was just, a stab in the heart of every last ounce of excitement that we all had. Really unfortunate stuff here. But to recap the entire night betting-wise, parlay legs, I said it in the breakdown. I'm probably going to regret putting a couple of these in there. And I do. It just wasn't necessarily the ones that I thought. I thought maybe Paddy and Bautista, the fight would play out and I'd be like, why'd I do that? But no, those actually ended up hitting. It was the one that I didn't suspect. Kavanaugh and Cortez. I was super high on Tracy Cortez. Outside of me outside of the jokes that I make about Tracy Cortez, I really thought she was going to win that fight. And it wasn't like it was a close one that she maybe could have won and I could have been on here coping about it. She got her ass whooped. Does not hit. Kavanaugh loses as well in a fight that he also could have won. He stung. I didn't even say this in the breakdown. How awful is that? He stung and almost finished Mario Bautista, or Jesus criminy. He stung and almost finished Brandon Royval in round 2. Doesn't get it done. High value straight wise, Pinos round 1 KO at plus 280 hits. There was another few decent high value straights that also hit. Bashrat via decision. I think we also hit a Robert Whitaker KO. That cashed as well. Did a bad job of putting the best ones on here. I think I just went for the more high numbered ones to put on the graphic. But if you look throughout the card, there were plenty of really good high value straights that just aren't on this graphic for right now. But like I said, overall night wise, Lonnie Kavanaugh and Trace Cortez really just it just didn't work out because I had a lot of prelim parlays and bets and then main card parlays and bets, and they were kind of in a bunch of them. I keep moving the mic away from my face. I'm sorry, you guys. But I kind of had a bunch of different bets going on, and they both kind of screwed me over in different ways. But we still ended up with more money than we came, we left with more money than we came in with because of Paddy Pimblett and Mario Bautista. I think those two alone were over $200 in wins. So great stuff there. I was super happy about that, but the Kavanaugh and Cortez definitely screwed a lot of things up. Pick-wise, I had to go back and literally watch. I had to go through and see every single one. I went through every card that I made picks for this year, revamped this. It was not right before. Main events, I'm 12-8. Numbered events, 53 and 26, which that ain't bad. That ain't bad. And fight night events, I'm 101 and 43 to bring the complete total to 154 and 69. I'm literally making the UFC Fight Night Oklahoma City right now. The breakdown for that, we lose the co-main event of Jacoby Smith and Kevin Holland, and that's really unfortunate. Not a lot of fights on this next card. I think it's only like 10 fights or something like that. The main event is going to be sick. I'm super excited for DDP to be coming back. I think that could have been like the feature fight, I guess, in a way, instead of the Bautista Corey Sandhagen. I would have flipped those two around. But regardless, super excited to see DDP fight again. I will have a breakdown up for that, I think, on Friday. I'm going to try and do it Friday. It might be Saturday morning. Regardless, super excited for that. I will see you guys then. I'm going to try and get out another video in between those two. I have a couple that are already ready. I just need to record and kind of, edit and finish them off. So I'll try and get it out another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you still had fun watching this. I know it's easy to be disappointed. Keep watching though. Keep watching. The sport is so much fun. Keep watching me. Hopefully, hopefully I didn't sell too bad. I went 10-4. So overall, not that bad. Had a couple of really good predictions. Hopefully I make these videos. I always fail to say this at the beginning. I make these videos so that you guys can feel more attached to the fights that are happening. And so that you guys, if you love betting on these, or if that's the only reason why you're going to watch, you can draw your own conclusions. I try and give an unbiased opinion for each person. I enjoy making these. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you hopefully sometime this week, if not next week. See ya.